Was it, do you think, about Bird that made him so exciting for young musicians and wanted to follow him, particularly his playing?
Number one, I think you have to be awestruck by his virtuosity and the effortlessness and how easy he made it look. That alone is pretty scary, you know, as you're trying to climb the ladder of skill. And when you see someone doing what you only could dream of or haven't dreamt of, that's pretty shocking to the soul. I heard that a lot of musicians, they just stop playing. You know, I don't know if that story is true about Louis Jordan. One night, Chuck, I don't know, they got that scene where he threw his horn in the river at first, that had that composite character, but I'm sure Bird made a lot of people come to a realization real quick, and it separated people who were just doing it for fun as people who had to make a decision. Man, I'm gonna go after this. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna study. I'm gonna get up under them. I'm gonna ask questions. I'm gonna hang out with musicians better than me. So he raised the bar so high. That was scary. And then his sound. You know, talking to Charles McPherson, he said he heard Bird, and he said he heard all the other great alto players. He said they were good. They were very good. But he said none of them had that sound that Bird had, and the clearness and the. It's like it was bullets, he said. You know, just, I could only imagine. You know, I have dreams at night about wanting to hear Bird, man. You know, and he was a phenomenon. I can't imagine, you know, because like I say, he raised the bar on the level of musicianship and technical skill on every instrument, and it still carries forward to this day.
Absolutely, definitely. You know, as Bobby knows, Walter Bishop Jr. was a close friend of mine, and he talked a lot about Bird, obviously. And one thing that he noted about Bird Bird really cared about people. And when when they would tour, when they go to these different cities, musicians wanted to sit in, and Bird, you know, a lot of times let them sit in, even though they didn't come close to what Bird was doing. He made it a point to always having a good word about someone. He'd say to a cat, well, gee, man, your tone is beautiful, or whatever. And that elevated the musicians who had interactions with him, because Bird was the word. Bird said something about you. It made them feel good. Do you think, Chuck, that Bird, would you agree that he was someone who really cared about people?
Yeah, he was interested in everybody, and he, by all reports, he treated everybody equally. You know, he came up in Kansas City, and there's a long tradition of older musicians passing the tradition on to younger musicians. Bobby continues that today at the Conservatory of Music at UMKC. So he learned his craft watching Lester Young and being mentored by Buster Smith, and then he gave it back too. He mentored younger musicians. Think about Clifford Brown, his relationship with Clifford Brown. He spoke very highly of Chet Baker, Hampton Hawes, Frank Morgan. You know, when he was in Los Angeles in 1947, he mentored all the young musicians there at jam sessions, and he was a very kind individual, and he had empathy for people. And I think that he had a way of communicating one-on-one with people that you know, when you read Robert Reisner's book on Bird with all the interviews, it's like there's 88 different Charlie Parkers there, because everybody had a one-on-one experience with him and a story about Bird because he related to people so well.